Okay, gentlemen, you're over 40, you're stuck at your desk for 9 hours a day, your back hurts, your gut is growing, and you're telling yourself, I'm just so busy, I don't have time to build muscle anymore. You don't need 2 hours a day, you don't need a meal plan from Hollywood trainers, and you definitely don't need perfect genetics. You need leverage, you need efficiency, and you need a plan that's going to work with your life and not against it. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to build muscle after 40. No gimmicks, no fad diets, just the exact output-focused, high leverage system that works even if you're slammed with kids, work, and you have zero motivation. If you don't know who I am, my name's Noah Derling. I'm a coach and I help men over 35 lose 20 to 50 pounds using my Triple M system without restrictive diets, hours of cardio, fad diets, low carb, zero carb, keto, intermittent fasting or whatever, and it only takes 30 minutes a day. And now I help men. Long story short, I used to be super overweight, near obese, and now I'm in the best shape of my life and I help men do the exact same thing. So the first thing you need to do to start building muscle after 40 while working a desk job is you need to eliminate this excuse that you're too busy. Because guess what? I guarantee you're not. Of course, I know you're very busy, right? You're a successful individual, you're making good money, you have a family that you want to spend time with as well. But the problem is you may still have vices or time wasters. When you go home, you probably sit on the couch, maybe scroll some social media, maybe you watch some Netflix, maybe you're scrolling on LinkedIn, or maybe you're watching some YouTube, and maybe you stream some sports to help you unwind. Or maybe another thing you do is you procrastinate by doing fake work. You're doing things that don't actually move the needle, but it makes you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So, you spend a lot of time doing that. You're just typing away, maybe doing random tasks, checking emails, but you're not actually being productive. And the next thing is it doesn't actually take as long as you think to start to build muscle. You think it takes 2 hours in the gym every single day, but it really doesn't. You also think you need to spend hours meal prepping. You actually don't. So the solution is to first realize, right, that it actually only takes 3 to 4 times per week training for 30 minutes. That's really it. Or you can get fantastic results literally just doing that. You need to have some special techniques to do it, but you can get basically the same results as the guys who spend hours and hours in the gym with half the training time. Now, if you're an action taker, you can literally download a free workout plan that I'll give you by messaging me the word 4 or the number 4 on Instagram at Noah Derling Coach. And you can just follow that plan and skip to the section on how to implement it. And you don't even have to watch the rest of this. But if you're not that kind of guy and you don't like to take a lot of action, then you can just keep watching. So here's how you can train for only 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week and make the same results as people who spend hours in the gym. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to train really hard. I don't mean doing hours of running, but I mean doing resistance training really, really hard. Above all, this is the most important thing that you can do. Everything else doesn't really matter if you're not training hard. The reason why is because when you're training hard, you're actually doing the most work, right? Because muscle growth is actually kind of exponential in terms of the number of reps you're doing. Most of the growth you see is in the last few reps. It's in the hardest reps. So if you spend more time in that zone, you spend more time doing the hardest reps, you're actually doing more damage to the muscle and you're gonna make better results. What do you think is better? 5 mediocre kind of working hard sets or 2 really, really hard sets trained to failure? It's gonna be the 2 sets that you train to failure. It's gonna cause more muscle growth, or maybe it'll be the equal amount of growth, but you did it in more than half the time. So basically, if you really, really wanna save time, the best thing you can do is you can just take every single set to failure. The next thing you need to do is you need to use the bang for your buck method, which is something that I invented. It's basically how you can save time while working out using some special techniques, okay? So some of the special techniques you can use is, for example, you can do something called antagonist supersets. So what are antagonist supersets? How do you do that? How does it work, right? Take an exercise like bench press, for example. That's one set, but then you do another set using the opposite muscles. So instead of pushing, you're now going to be pulling. And something like a bent over row paired with a bench press is an example of an antagonist superset. The reason why it works is because you're spending all of this energy doing the bench press, you're hitting your chest, you're hitting your triceps, and you're hitting your front shoulders, and that's gonna make you really tired in those muscles. Those muscles are going to burn. But you can immediately go to another exercise where those muscles aren't tired, they aren't burning, and you can start doing reps in those. So you're literally cutting out the rest time because you're moving to a completely opposite group of muscles, and those muscles are being worked instead. Another example of something you can do is like a drop set. So let's take bicep curling, for example, okay? You have a rack of dumbbells, or maybe you're using resistance bands, doesn't matter, and you're doing your curls. And then the first thing you're going to do as soon as you hit failure on the bicep curls is you're going to immediately drop the weight to a lower weight and you're gonna keep doing more reps. And then after you hit failure with lower weight, do another set immediately. Or you're gonna do another set again, but with an even lighter weight this time. That's what's called a drop set. This eliminates the need for a rest break, and you're spending more time really hard, really straining near failure zone, which is going to result in more muscle growth. Another thing you can do, which is somewhat similar, is you can do what's called myo reps, okay? And what a myo rep is you're gonna, let's take those same curls, okay? You're doing curls. As soon as you hit failure, you're gonna let the weight down, and you're gonna rest for a very short period of time, extremely short, like 10, 15 seconds. And then you're gonna start doing curls again. Then you're gonna hit failure, and you're gonna rest another 10, 15 seconds, and you're gonna start curling them again. You don't even put the weight down, you just rest for a few seconds, maybe even 5, right? But the point is you're cutting your rest time down significantly, but you're still spending more time in this really tough, really hard training zone. Lastly, you can do something which is called compound movements. Okay, so an example of that would be a bench press. The bench press works your chest, your front shoulder, and your triceps, and a few other muscles as well. But the main point is it's working multiple muscle groups at the same time. And so this will eliminate your need to do a ton of isolation reps. For example, like I said earlier, a bicep curl would be an example of an isolation movement. It's not a compound movement, it's only working one muscle. So the more compound movements you do, it's more muscles being worked, but you don't need to do as many individual exercises to hit each of the muscle groups. Actually, there's one other thing you need to focus on, which is good technique, okay? Why does good technique matter? Good technique matters because you're actually hitting the muscle groups that you're intending to train. You're gonna see more results from less reps because of this. It's also easier to recover from, and you're gonna end up doing less reps because when you cheat, right, you get more reps in, right? But it's not actually about the number of reps like we discussed earlier. It's actually about spending that time near failure, really working your body out the hardest. And what do you think is harder? Cheating to get more reps, or being very strict with it and keeping all of the pain locally in the muscle you're trying to hit? Obviously, it's going to be truly training harder, truly training the muscle. So just a brief overview of good technique. What does that really look like? Like I said, it works the intended muscle groups, so no cheating. Your movements are gonna be kind of robotic. They're gonna be, every single rep is gonna be the exact same as the last. It's not gonna be super fast reps either. It's gonna be slow and controlled, and you're gonna feel it in the target muscle. That's kind of the biggest thing. Or you're just feeling it in the muscles you're trying to work out. The next thing is that it keeps you safe, obviously. Now, you may not know what good technique looks like versus bad technique. You can find tons of videos on YouTube, but what you're gonna see across the board is it keeps you safe and it's a natural movement path, right? It moves in a way that your body is supposed to move. And then a bonus tip for every single exercise, you actually wanna emphasize the stretch. This is gonna contribute to more muscle growth. That's part of good technique. So on the bottom of a bicep curl, holding it on the bottom, or maybe if you're doing a dumbbell bench press, right? Going really, 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 really deep. So that's something else to consider. Now, let's say after all of that, you still feel like you don't have enough time, right? Basically, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to create time for yourself. Your first step should be cut out the Netflix and unwind with something else, right? I guarantee you, if you look at your phone usage, there's probably higher phone usage on dumb things than you even realize. So you should go look at your phone usage and see, you're right, I do spend an hour or two on Instagram a day. Or maybe you watch more YouTube than you should. What you should do instead is you should exercise instead of watching the television, or maybe even exercise with your family, go on a hike with your family, go on a walk with your family, or go on a walk by yourself, it doesn't matter. Just replace that time that you spend doing things that aren't really helping you and just unwind in a different way. Exercise actually does help you unwind. It does help you feel better. It does actually give you more energy afterwards, right? It can be hard to get started, but once you're in the gym, it's actually much easier to keep going. And if you're working out from home, maybe you're using resistance bands, you can exercise while watching the TV. That's what a lot of people do. It helps them. I don't personally do it, but if that would help you, then just do that. Maybe you feel like you have no energy to exercise after work, right? I get it. I've been there before myself. So what you need to do is you need to maybe train before work, okay? Wake up a little bit earlier, go to bed a little bit earlier, but just exercise before work. This will actually set your day off right, and you're gonna feel much better throughout the whole day. This is by far the best method in my opinion, but if you feel like you can't do that, then definitely, if you're gonna do it after work, don't eat a huge meal right away. That's the number one mistake you can make. It's gonna make you lethargic, it's gonna make you tired, it's gonna give you brain fog. You're definitely not gonna wanna exercise after that. So instead of going straight home, maybe you can drive to the gym first instead. Bring your gym stuff with you. right? That's a good habit that you can start that's gonna allow you to be more consistent in the gym. Another thing you can do is you can take your bands with you to work. Maybe you wanna train while you're working. Some guys do that. You can just hit a few quick sets or a few quick reps like we discussed. It doesn't take much time at all. Maybe you can just do it in between things. Obviously, I know you might sweat, but perhaps it's not such a big deal, or maybe you can change into clothes. I don't know, but you can think of ways, right, that you can just make it work. It's not like it's impossible to fit in. If you really wanted to do it, you could. But that ties into a bigger point, right? You don't even have to go to the gym. Maybe your issue is, well, the drive to the gym is just too much. It's too long. I understand that. I get it. If you don't want to invest into a whole gym, right? If you don't want to spend the money to do that, you can do 90% of the things that you can do at a gym with just some resistance bands. Buy some resistance bands on Amazon. For many clients that I've had, this is what I've done for them. I've bought them resistance bands for them just because it was just a gift, but I bought them resistance bands so that they could train at home. Maybe you don't want to do resistance bands, you can just buy some adjustable dumbbells on Amazon. It doesn't matter. You really have zero excuse to not exercise. And the other thing too is your gains are going to be just as good. It's not like, oh, well, I'm only going to make half the progress. Like, no, your body doesn't know the difference between the cable. It doesn't know that you're using the band. It might know, okay, there's a little bit less resistance here at the bottom, right? With the free weight, it's different from a machine, obviously. But it doesn't know, oh, I'm using resistance bands, I'm just not gonna grow. And if after all of this, you still feel like you don't have time, you're gonna have to sacrifice something. Something is gonna have to go. Your health is extremely important, right? You can have a great family, you can have a nice house, you can have a nice car, you can have nice clothes, you can have a lot of great things. But if you're gonna die in a few years, it doesn't matter. Your health is extremely important. As a man, as an individual, it's important to be healthy. And your health is invaluable because it's something you have to work for. You can't actually really buy your health. Sure, you can get some life-saving medicine or something like that, but really aside from that, you have to work for your health. It takes work. So if you kind of really have everything else, but you just need your health, you're gonna have to sacrifice something because over a long enough time frame, some of you might die from your current position. You have to let that sink in. You could die. I had a client who was worried about dying before his daughter's wedding. It was a big deal for him. You have to think about that. So you're going to have to cut something out of your life. It's best if it's something stupid or something not valuable, but if it comes down to it, if you really wanted to, if you really want to do it, if you really want to get healthy, you're gonna have to cut something out. And if you aren't willing to do that, if you're like, there's just nothing I can do, then get off the video because this is not for you. This video is only for people who actually want to take action and who actually want to hit their goals. So if you aren't willing to cut things out for your health and you're in bad shape, but you're not willing to cut something out, then this is just not for you and you should get off the video. Think about Mark Zuckerberg, right? Billionaire, CEO of Facebook. He's a billionaire and he still makes time for fitness. He still does jujitsu, and you're not special. You're not doing more than him. You don't have more things going on than Mark Zuckerberg. You're just not that special. There's nothing unique about your situation that hasn't been solved before by someone else. He just makes time for it. And if you aren't willing to do it, then maybe fitness just isn't for you. If you want to stay in that shape for the rest of your life, then that's not my problem. Fitness isn't for you. You just don't want it bad enough. And that's okay. If that's your choice, that's your choice. But maybe it's just not for you. It literally only takes 30 minutes. The next thing you need to think about is every other aspect of building muscle, right? Right now, your sleep is garbage, you're stressed out of your mind, and you eat worse than you sleep. You're running off 5 hours of sleep, 3 cups of coffee, and that's spiking your cortisol like crazy. It's making you way more stressed than you should be. And less stress is gonna lead to less muscle growth. There's also less energy training, you're gonna be less consistent, all because you're just stressed out, you're low on sleep, you're tired, you're sluggish. It's one big mess, really. But your stress is already high. You have work stress, you have deadlines, you have due dates, you have things to worry about, you have things to think about, but I also have to see my family. There's a bunch of things going on. And then you're overweight, which leads to more stress in the body, more cortisol, more of that stress signaling. Of course, you might even still have other issues outside of that, right? You have a personal life, you have things going on. And then the stress is actually leading to worse sleep, right? Because when you're stressed out, you can't sleep as easily, you have worse sleep. And because you're stressed and you're sleeping poorly, you're also now eating poorly, right? Because when you're low on sleep, your body's hunger signals go way up. So you're probably gonna eat worse. You're probably gonna stress eat, and that's gonna cause weight gain, and you have absolutely zero protein in your diet, most likely, right? Aside from maybe steak night, you're probably not having enough protein. You're probably just not eating enough, which also means you're just not gonna build any muscle. The food you're eating is probably sugary, probably terrible for you, which it's okay to have some of these things sometimes, but if it's all the time, obviously there's no benefit. It's not like you're just enjoying yourself every once in a while, it's just all the time, right? And then the foods you're eating, because they're bad, it leads to more stress and worse sleep. All of these things contribute to each other, okay? They're all affecting each other, and you wonder why you're overweight, right? How do we fix this? What do we do about this problem? The first thing we need to fix, bottom line, first thing we need to fix is your sleep. I know there's other things contributing to poor sleep, but if you have better sleep, everything else will just line up. If you're already getting a good sleep, that's great, right? If you're already getting good sleep, maybe you can skip to the next section. But sleep is the most important key part. Followed closely by the next point, but sleep is important. No more late nights, no more Netflix, no more just trying to unwind. Sorry, you can't do that anymore. Sleep needs to be your number one goal in the evening times. You need to be thinking, okay, number one, how can I stay consistent? You need to be consistent with your sleep schedule. This is very important. Same bedtime every single day, even on the weekends. You have to be very strict about it, and you need to make sure you're getting about 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Maybe more for some people, but most likely 7 to 8. This means no phone and no television keeping you up late at night, okay? The blue light's keeping you awake. I'm sure you might know that. If you didn't, your phone has some blue light, your TV has blue light, and that keeps you awake, and it also stresses your body out. So you don't wanna have your phone for like 30 minutes or even an hour before bed, right? Some other things you can do is you need to start cutting out the caffeine past 2 p.m. I know some of you are drinking coffee all throughout the day. You've gotta cut that out. It's not helping you sleep. You're probably addicted to caffeine at this point. So you need to dial that back, and just in the afternoon, no caffeine. Be very strict with yourself. After 2 p.m., 0 caffeine. And then as soon as you wake up, you wanna get in front of a bright light, okay? Or get some sunlight. This is gonna reset your circadian rhythm, and you're gonna start to naturally wake up more. You're gonna feel more energized. You're gonna feel more natural energy rather than artificial caffeine, fake energy, right? I still drink caffeine, but sunlight is gonna be great for you, and you're gonna have more natural energy. Next, for the first few nights, if you're really struggling to sleep, if you don't already, take some melatonin. It's gonna help you fall asleep. You shouldn't be on it for too long, but if you need it to help you reset your sleep schedule, to finally get into bed, it's actually gonna take a little bit of discipline, all right, to get into bed, but taking some melatonin will help you fall asleep, because I know sometimes changing your sleep schedule can be a little bit difficult, especially if you're going to bed earlier, right? The next thing we need to fix is we need to fix your diet. Because now you're sleeping better, you're gonna be less likely to eat terribly, but there's still some bad habits in place, and there's still some things you need to do. So the first thing you need to do, because you're probably overweight, is you're gonna want to eat in a calorie deficit, okay? So you're gonna go online, you're gonna find a calorie calculator, doesn't really matter which one, and you're gonna subtract 500 calories from your daily recommended intake, right? So if you're eating, let's say about 2,700 calories a day, you're gonna cut it down to 2,200, okay? Or maybe if you're eating 2,000 calories a day, you're gonna cut it down to 1,500. And the calorie deficit is gonna help you lose weight, which is gonna reveal the muscle that we're trying to build, right? We wanna show off that muscle, right? If we're gonna build muscle, we wanna show it off, we want it to look good. We don't wanna have the greatest physique under pounds of butter all over our body, right? We wanna show it off. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna eat 1 gram of protein per centimeter of height of lean body mass, okay? The reason why you wanna eat this much protein is because it's gonna help you build more muscle. You're also gonna feel more satiated, so it's gonna be easier to lose that weight. And overall, it's just better for you. It's better than super high carb meals. I'm not saying don't eat carbs, but what I am saying is overall, your meals should consist largely of a lot of protein, okay? The next thing you wanna do is you're gonna wanna eat 80-20 whole foods, okay? So what I mean by that is 80% of your calories are gonna come from whole foods, all right? Because it's better to have it's more important to have a healthy lifestyle. Okay, we need to change how we live our lives a little bit, okay? Long-term life changes. You also need to be thinking, all right, what's the other 20%? The other 20% is eating whatever you want. Eat the foods you absolutely love. Now, this doesn't mean to overeat. Still eat within your calories, still eat within your deficit, but you're gonna be eating your favorite foods. You're gonna eat the foods that you love, because guess what? That's sustainable. That's something you can do for life, okay? You can actually do that long term. You can't just cut it out forever. It doesn't work for everyone. Even I cheat on my diet basically every single day. Not really every single day, but I try to enjoy my life, right? I'm actually not a crazy health nut. I'm only eating chicken and salad today. That's not how I live my life. I like a good cheeseburger. I like bread too. I love bread. And guess what? I enjoy bread. I enjoy carbs. I'll admit it, right? You caught me, because it's not bad to eat those things. It's not bad to have those things, but I just do it in moderation. I still eat right most of the time. Now you might be saying, oh, well, you know, I'm too busy to eat healthy. I'm just too busy to eat healthy. No, you're not. You are not too busy to eat healthy, okay? Because there's a few things you can do, so that's gonna allow you to actually eat healthy without really even affecting your schedule at all. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna buy healthy, microwavable meals at the grocery store, okay? This is so easy. This is such a life hack. Buy a bunch of healthy, microwavable meals at the grocery store. They're at every single grocery store, and just eat those, all right? Now, some of them you do wanna avoid, right? Some of these meals aren't actually good for you. So you wanna get meals that are high in protein, right? So you wanna maybe look for a meal that's 15-to-1 calorie to protein ratio, right? So if you have 150 calories, it's gonna be like 10 grams of protein, or 300 calories, that's gonna be about 20 grams of protein, okay? A 15-to-1 ratio. That's pretty good. That's where you wanna generally be at. Something like really excellent, really great ratio is gonna be like 10-to-1. Not sure how common that is, because I don't really do too many microwavable meals myself. Or maybe you wanna do takeout. Maybe you wanna do DoorDash. Maybe you wanna do Uber Eats, right? Basically, you're gonna follow the same rules. Every single food chain has the calories on their website. You can actually see, okay, how much protein's in this, how many calories are in this, does this fit within my goals? It's really easy to track. It's super easy. Worst case scenario, if you're out to eat, you can literally just get an AI calorie calculator. There's a bunch of them online, they're really cheap. Just download whichever one has the most downloads. I don't personally use one, but you can just scan the food. You can just take a picture of the food and it outputs a pretty close, pretty accurate depiction of what you're actually eating in terms of calories and protein, right? Now, the general rule of thumb when you're eating out, of course, or when you're getting these microwavable meals, is still aiming for whole food, right? That's still the main goal, eating mostly whole food. You want it to be high protein, of course, and it has to be high protein to build muscle, right? If you're not eating a high protein diet, you're not gonna build muscle. I mean, truthfully, you can eat whatever you want, but if you're not eating enough protein, you're just not gonna build muscle. And that's the point of this video, right? How can I build muscle? At the end of the day, as long as you're having enough protein, that's gonna contribute to your muscle growth the most, all right? That and the calorie deficit to reveal your muscle, but the protein is a big deal. Something to also consider is to eat your carbs pre and post workout, all right? Your carbs are gonna fuel you up. They're gonna give you energy, right? Because carbohydrates are the body's source of energy. So it's gonna fuel your workouts. Then after, you're gonna replenish your fuel, but try to eat your carbs pre and post workout. That's a great idea. It's a great way to make sure you're eating correctly. Then high fruits and vegetables are gonna keep you full to allow you to be in that calorie deficit easier, right? It's gonna keep you satiated. High fiber foods, it's gonna give you that full feeling, right? You're not gonna really wanna eat more if you're just eating a ton of vegetables and a ton of fruit. And lean protein also does the same thing. Keeps you full, makes you satiated. You don't really wanna eat too much. Like, think about eating a huge bowl of pasta versus a giant pile of chicken breast. Even if the chicken breast is flavored, most of you, it's probably gonna be easier to overeat on the pasta compared to lean chicken breast. If you just do those things while eating your favorites, you'll be just fine. You're gonna lose weight, fine. You're gonna build muscle, great. If you follow all of this advice, you're gonna start to feel fantastic. Your stress is gonna be lower. You're gonna have more energy, right? And you're gonna build the most muscle in the gym, because with all of these things working together, right, your stress is gonna be lower. You're gonna be feeling amazing. Now, the final issue though is still stress, right? Even after all of this, your stress is gonna be much lower, right? You're gonna be doing much better, but there might still be some individuals, some stress, some things that you might work on, and I have some advice that could help you lower that stress even further, right? Even further, right? One thing you can do is you can stay hydrated. Maybe you don't know this, right? But being dehydrated is gonna cause more stress on your body. It's just healthier to have more water, right? Most of us probably don't drink enough. Some of us maybe make a goal to do it, but it's important to drink enough. So make sure you stay hydrated. The next thing you can do is to take some supplements, okay? Some supplements that are really gonna help you. One thing that personally helps me a lot is ashwagandha. I don't know if it definitely works. I don't even know if it's the placebo effect. I think it works. I've looked at the studies, I'm pretty sure it works. But even if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. I feel like it works, so I think you should take it too. Ashwagandha really lowers my stress, lowers my cortisol, and I'm pretty sure the evidence is there that it does do that, right? So take some ashwagandha. Another thing you can do is you can take magnesium. This is also gonna help your sleep, which is gonna lower your stress more, like we said earlier. So take some magnesium to help you fall asleep, right? Maybe those things belong in diet or even in the sleep section, but maybe those things belong in the diet or maybe even the sleep section, but I think that this is still good additional advice. Another thing you can do is you can try deep breathing. Now I know it sounds goofy, right? But if your stress is really high, one of the best things you can do to lower your stress is actually deep breathing. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take a deep breath with your chest and your stomach, right? Your chest should be out and your stomach should be out. And then you're gonna take a second deep breath just to get more air in. A really sharp breath, and that's gonna help you relieve your stress. Then you blow out very slowly, right? That's gonna really relieve your stress. It helps me, it helps other people. Try this out, and it's actually gonna lower your stress. You can just do this throughout the day. Make sure you're taking deep breaths. Most people are kind of like shallow mouth breathers, so they're breathing through their mouth. You wanna breathe through your nose really deeply. Then again, I already said this before, but cut the caffeine. So a ton of coffee is gonna really spike your cortisol, okay? And if you basically go out your day fasted, if you don't have anything in the morning, caffeine without some sugar is gonna spike that cortisol even more. If you have a little bit of like some fruits or maybe even like a healthy smoothie, that's gonna reduce the cortisol. It's gonna reduce the cortisol effect of the caffeine. So it can be important to either cut out the caffeine, definitely cut it out past 2 p.m., right? But there are some ways you can also mitigate the cortisol even further by maybe even having less caffeine or just having something else. Or maybe by having some carbohydrates before your day. And it'll help your brain too. It'll help your focus. It'll help your mental clarity as well. Another thing that ties back is also exercise. Exercise will reduce stress. This is proven. Exercising is going to massively reduce your stress. Only you can really decide how to mitigate stress at work as well. Ultimately, that's up to you. There's certain things that might work, but maybe they're a little bit off topic for this video. So try to mitigate the stress at work as best as you can. Another thing that's kind of similar, that's kind of individual, right, is you can pray. That's something that if you're a religious person, you can pray. I'm a Christian, so I pray every day. It's very important to pray, and I'm pretty sure it's actually proven that it does reduce your stress. Then another thing you can do is and you're looking to do that as somebody who's busy and you're a desk worker, you can book a call with me at the link below, and we can have a one-on-one where I can go over how I've helped other people do exactly what you're looking to do. Or if you don't want to do that, go check out the other videos on my channel. They have a lot of other value that I can give you, so feel free to check those things out.